So Lord willing, we don't have no problems with the internet,
If so, then I'm just stuck here then.
It's just like, read on.
Yeah.
Read.
All right. Let me send it out.
Yeah. All right. Mm.
You send it into the chats, or you want? I can send it into the chats.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Okay, kind of see it.
We good.
All right, man. First and foremost, I want to say call halal Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rakah Kudash. Send double honors once again to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to Yakim out there pushing the word of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, sincerity and truth. This is Ariala. I got the elder Yashawamba with me. And today, what do we wanted to do? I know brothers have been touching on this character right here, Prince of Power. He did a response to one of Apostle Hars, and now he's done several responses. But we were mentioning this at the street speaking, and we just now able to kind of get together on a live. Wanted to
Right.
touch on a few points in a little mindset. You get these guys that have been in the truth for a couple of years, and they have a very contrarian kind of like spirit. They like to go back and forth with people, and it's good to have some of those brothers in camps sometimes. But when someone has an ego and gets prideful, it's very annoying. It's like a little gnat, you listen to this video, which I listened to probably over half of it. You can tell that he really doesn't know much in this video. He doesn't even understand what happened in the old school. He doesn't understand the history of One West, what led to a lot of the splits and a lot of the differences between some of the camps and some of the apostles and the other elders and other camps. He doesn't know. He doesn't know the Lashwan Kodashi. He was like, I've never heard anybody do any grammar. We got tons and tons of videos, the old Hebrew packets, literally breaking down all the grammar. And he said, there's points where Apostle Tahar was going through, knowing if something is a plural word in the Hebrew, and that he was surprised by that, just showing you he's very much a novice. And there's nothing wrong with being a novice, but when you're a novice, you got to be humble, you know. And he doesn't have the spirit of humility to receive this word. He's puffed up, and so that's why the Most High is blocking his eyes and his ears from getting understanding. And so we wanted to touch on a little bit of the mindset that he's in and kind of edify, Lord willing. Elder Yashawamba, did you have anything that you want to open up with?
Hey, call hello, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And for all you guys that are making this big case to save the heathen, why don't you go just teach them? Why you keep bothering us with it? Instead of going and teaching Moab to stop eating lizards and raccoons and panda bears and all of the shit they eat, you sitting up here bothering us day in and day out with this nonsense, leaving these long ass comments. Why don't you just go teach the heathen?
Right.
And see if they accept the word. If your whole platform is going to be rooted and predicated upon adding the heathen to the second covenant, go preach to them. Why you keep bothering us? Which
Great
we
point.
know is going to be a back and forth, but go teach the heathen. Go on video. Go to Chinatown. There's pretty much a Chinatown or different cultures of different nations in most cities. Go teach them. Go tell them about the love of Jesus.
Yeah.
And leave us the hell alone. Which we understand that this is just a part of it. We're going to have naysayers and contrarians, and we ignore some of them. We defend the gospel, for the most part. But at the end of the day, this whole thing about saving the heathen, you Israelites ain't even saved yet. And here it is, you're ready to throw salvation in the new covenant, the priesthood of Melchizedek and everything to people who don't give two shits about you and ain't making no calls for you.
Right.
And it's played out.
Very.
A lot of you are agents. A lot of you are just simple. This guy said, I believe he's been around 6, 7 years. You don't know a goddamn thing.
You don't know nothing.
Your whole platform is rooted in looking for what other Israelites do. You don't have a proactive ministry.
Yeah.
You see?
It's just a reactive ministry. And you know who really started the reaction videos is Great Millstone, but it was based off of a level of knowledge and study that's been rooted for over 3 decades to be able to come and edify and admonish and exhort. These guys want to do these reaction videos just because they see it's now become a popular trend. Great Millstone started the reaction videos over 10 years ago. People wasn't doing reaction videos. We were the ones that were sitting down, seeing something that was on YouTube, play it, react to it, go through the scriptures and filter it spiritually. Now these guys, these guys, these come by night guys, these guys that crept in unawares think that they have a level of understanding because they saw a couple of things, but they never really studied, which is why he doesn't know a damn thing. I want to get this real quick, if you don't mind, Elder.
Absolutely.
I want to get 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 6. Just read this real quick. It says, not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil. Okay, so this is what's happening to a lot of people. They're getting lifted up in pride once they get a little piece of knowledge, like the scripture says, knowledge puffeth up. And it's just like a little child. A child gets a little piece of knowledge and he wants to boast and brag as if he knows everything. I remember when my son was 5. Anytime he learned 1 or 2 things, he thought he knew more than me. Did you know this? Did you know the lions? Blah, blah, blah. Yes, son, I know the lions do that. Did you know? Did you know rhinos? You know, that's what these little dudes, that's what these guys do. They think they really think are thinking or saying something deep. And we're going to play a little bit of this video showing you how minuscule his thinking is. All right. I want to get this real quick. This is Titus chapter 1, verse 15. It says, unto the pure, all things are pure. But unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure.
Right.
But even their mind and conscience is defiled. Okay? They profess that they know the Most High, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate. And that is this guy's spirit. Very much so, reprobate. He cannot take rebuke. He cannot take correction. All right? A lot of these guys have major daddy issues spiritually. And they don't want to see somebody having authority or anything like that. You had something you was about to say, Elder? Okay. I want to get this real quick. One more scripture. I think I had one more pulled up. Where'd it go? Boom. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 1 says, and I, brethren, could not speak unto you as unto spiritual, but as unto carnal, even as unto babes in Hamashiach Yahushua. I have fed you with milk and not with meat, for hitherto you were not able to bear it, neither yet now are ye able, for ye are yet carnal. For whereas there is among you envying and strife and divisions, are ye not carnal and walk as men? And this is the mindset that this young man has right here. He's spiritually very, very young. He needs milk. He needs some milk.
Yeah, he needs the milk.
Because you can tell when he was listening to Apostle Tahar, he doesn't understand Apostle Tahar's teaching style, which is very deliberate. Apostle Tahar is not finna speed up for you. He's going to take his time. He's methodical. He's going to flesh it out. He's not worried about being cute and polished. But if you shut the fuck up and listen, you'll learn something. You'll learn a whole lot. And this guy doesn't have the patience. He actually was listening to Apostle Tahar go over a Hebrew word. He was going over the word Jew. And in his feeble mind, he's like, he's kind of stumbling here. He doesn't really know. No. He's just taking his time. You don't know. And then in the midst of it, he has to admit that he's learning. It's looking weird, man. Just prideful as all get out, man. You need milk. Really, that lesson was way over your head. This guy
Yep.
needs to go back and read the first 5 books and learn the history of Israel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And anytime these guys see a point in history where the heathen, may have followed our ways, or that certain heathen was shown some kind of favor, they automatically want to present it as some form of them being included in the covenant, the new covenant. Now they're even going back to the first covenant and saying, well, the heathen were always accepted amongst, the promises. No, the promises to the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Replacement theology is off. Could we get a scripture in the book of Baruch real quick?
Absolutely.
Could you zoom in a little bit too on your screen? Okay. The book of Baruch, the fourth chapter.
All right, let me pull
because again, like I said earlier, we're not saved yet, and here it is. We got to continuously go back and forth, not only with actual heathen and Christians, Israelites, and a heathen like mine, a literal heathen who are following Christianity. We have to go back and forth with people who call themselves Israelites. You had a guy come on the comment board and say Lot wasn't an Israelite.
Oh my God!
Showing you that these dudes don't know what the hell is going on. Lot was of the righteous lineage. He was one of the sons of God before we were called Israelites.
That was such a low-level comment. It's astonishing.
Ishmael was circumcised. All of Abraham's children were circumcised. But who was the covenant made with of promise? It was with Isaac.
Yeah.
All right. The book of, I'll read it. The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and 3. I start at 2. It says, turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. Give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. And here it is. We as a nation are at the very bottom. We need salvation. We catching hell. The Lord has blessed us with the Holy Spirit to be raised up in these latter days, pursuing the prophecy, the dry bones. And all Jake wants to talk about is saving the other nations when the scriptures already have their place. They're going to be taught. They're going to learn from the Israelites in the kingdom. They're going to be forced to follow the ways of righteousness. They are not a part of the first covenant or the second. They're not going to be priests after the order of Melchizedek. They're not going to be a part of administering the throne of David on earth as it is in heaven. That's profitable unto us. But we have to sit here and argue back and forth with Israelites over saving heathen. And if the heathen could, they would hang your black ass on a light pole right now, man.
Yep.
The heathen would delete all of you niggas if they had the power to right now.
Yep.
Heathen don't give a damn about you Israelites, man. But we got to sit up here and continuously go back and forth with black, dark, chocolate niggas. All right, over the talking point of salvation. Salvation is when you're beamed up into the chariot, man. Entered into the new covenant. No heathen will take part in that marriage supper, man. That feast. Only the elect of the nation of Israel. Not even all Israel gonna be beamed up into that glorious ceremony. But here it is. We got to sit here and argue back and forth with you niggas because you find them points. Because this is what they're doing. The Christians have been cut. They don't want to go to John 3:16 no more. That don't work for them no more. We say start at 14 and break down the history. They don't want to go to Jew nor Greek. That cuts them now. Now they're going into Esther, where a group of people were scared as hell, seeing the Israelites in the spirit fervently got an order to put people to death. And they were like, I'm going to be a Jew. Now this somehow gives them the second covenant.
Yeah.
And when the throne of David was established, which heathen had joint heirs of fellowship with David, even when Solomon fought it for 40 years? None. Mm-hmm. The kingdom was for Judah and Israel, Judah and Ephraim, man, the 12 tribes of Israel, man. You got it, brother.
Well, that's why I want to kind of open up with a little bit of history, because it's just like you were saying, when King David was on the throne, he was scattering these nations, and those that were set about him, they was in servitude. They wasn't sitting side by side on the throne with King David.
Right.
That's not what's meant to be established. These nations are meant to be under the rule of the sons of God, right?
Right.
The princes of the power, Israel. Okay.
Right.
So now, in your lesson that you did in the response to this, Elder Yashawan, but you was talking about how these Christians want to talk about how the Edomites were done away with, you know? And so we get up into Esther. And so how do we have these Edomites all up in Shushan and these different provinces in the Persian Empire? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you got to understand that the history of the scriptures, like, it's condensed. There was a lot going on.
Right.
Okay, when
There's
yeah,
even books we don't have.
right, there was a lot of things going on. You're getting the highlight points of following the Israelites, but there was things going on. They want to you want to take a verse and put it into a vacuum and without being able to extrapolate the point of everything. Now, when you go back in First King and you read here, First Kings chapter 11, verse 9, it says, and the Lord was angry with Solomon, King Solomon, because his heart was turned from the Lord power of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice, and had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods, but he kept not that which the Lord commanded. And not because he was dealing with other women from other nations, it was going after their gods that made the Most High angry with Solomon. Okay? It says, wherefore the Lord said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes, which I have commanded thee, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee, and will give it to thy servant. Notwithstanding, in thy days I will not do it for David thy father's sake, but I will rend it out of the hand of thy son. We know the history of that, right? You had the southern and the northern kingdom that split, right? It says, howbeit, I will not rend away all the kingdom, but will give one tribe to thy son for David my servant's sake, right? The southern kingdom, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen. Verse 14 says, and the Lord stirred up an adversary in Solomon, unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite. All right, so King David took down the Edomites, made garrisons in Edom, took over the land of Edom.
Right.
Okay, and he was the king and was of the king's seed in Edom. For it came to pass when David was in Edom, and Joab, the captain of the host, was gone up to bury the slain, after he had smitten every male in Edom, right? For 6 months did Joab remain there with all Israel, until he had cut off every male in Edom. That Hadad fled, and he and certain Edomites of his father's servants with him, to go unto Egypt. Hadad being yet a little child. He was a little
Right.
boy.
And even outside of this, there was Edomites scattered in other places. Just because you read about a condensed story where David smote all the males, that's not all the males in the world at that time. It was in that region.
That's right. That's right.
And here it is again, the Christians, the anti-messiahs, they make the argument that all of the Edomites were done away with. And then all of a sudden they'll start doing videos saying Edomites can be saved. Which is it? And if they were done away with according to the scriptures, why? Because the Lord hated them. So which is it? Are they done away with? Can they be saved? What's the narrative surrounding Esau? I know they were not done away with yet. They're still here unto this very day, ruling the earth, pursuing the biblical prophecy. Esau is the end of this age.
That's why they kept having the prophecies concerning Edom after King David reigned. Right? Because it was a future prophecy. Right? And we're seeing this example in history of Hadad the Edomite fleeing to Egypt, right? When he was a little child. So did he go by himself as a little child? Like, no,
Right.
he had family, he had servants, he had people, he had rank. There was 12, Esau had 12 sons, the dukes of Edom. They were all over the place. Okay? Verse 18 says, and they arose out of Midian and came to Paran, and they took men with them out of Paran, and they came to Egypt unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and which gave him an house and appointed him victuals and gave him land. And Hadad found great favor in the sight of Pharaoh, so that he gave him to wife the sister of his own wife, the sister of Typhonese the queen. And the sister of Typhonese bare him. So this lets you know, if he was a child, now he's having kids. He was there for a good minute. you think the other Edomites that was there in Egypt that went with him was doing? Just standing around looking stupid? No, they were having kids too.
Right.
They were having families and building and having relationships. And you can see he's hanging out with Pharaoh. Does this mean he a low-level dude? No, some streetwalker is not going to hang out with the Pharaoh of Egypt. He's got rank, positions. He's doing deals, all types of stuff. Okay.
Right. Now, for the people watching, the point that we're making is that these individuals are arguing that the Edomites were done away with because they'll go to certain sections in the scriptures, and what they'll do is they'll see that it say he smote every male in Edom, or he, you know, and they're making these arguments that the Edomites are done away with, and our doctrine is flawed as concerning the Edomites, because the Edomites were already done away with. This has been an ongoing argument. All right. And as the elder required Quam just posted on the page, Isaiah 63 is end time prophecy that links with Revelation, the 19th chapter. Speaking of Esau, Edom, point blank period, the Edomites are not done away with. Okay. Right. And if they were, what year and what was the event? Was it recorded? You got it.
Right. And so it says, in verse 20, the sister of Taphanes bare him Junabath, his son, who Taphanes weaned in Pharaoh's house, and Junabath was in Pharaoh's household among the sons of Pharaoh, right? And when Hadad heard in Egypt that David slept with his fathers and that Joab, the captain of the host, was dead, Hadad said to Pharaoh, let me depart that I may go to my own country. All right?
Right.
Then Pharaoh said unto him, but what hast thou lacked with me, that behold, thou shouldest go into thy own country? He answered, nothing, howbeit let me go in anywise. Okay, and so then he set out to in a campaign to do what? To recapture the lands of Edom, right? Leading all the way up to the time of when Babylon came around. And then they conspired with Babylon, race it. All right.
Yep, they were still around. They helped the Babylonians take us down. That's right. Recorded in history. So they weren't done away with.
Yep. So that was a fermenting hatred that's gone on generation after generation after generation. All right. Leading up into the time when you read this in Esther, this is why it became a holy day, because it was a great victory. Okay. It was a great victory that happened when you read here in Esther 17. Okay. So I want to play this clip, unless you got something, Elder.
No, I'm good.
I'm going to play this clip because he makes a comment here, and it just shows you how much of a novice he is.
Right.
Okay.
17. This last verse.
What he's doing here too is that he's his main point here is to show that within Esther 8:17, there's two words for Jews there. And he's saying what they became isn't, when it says the Jews, the first Jews there, and then it says then they became Jews. What they became is not the same word. And to his credit, that is a point. All right.
That's the point.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the point. Because could you pull up? You got Esther right there, right?
Yeah. I got
and
it.
We went over the history already. I mean, pretty much if you brothers and sisters been watching, you know at this time, the ruler of the Persian Empire, Xerxes, right? I forget his other name. He basically gave a decree that the Jews could put any of their enemies to death. So you had a large number of heathen who said, you know what? Fuck that. I'm scared. All right. If you read it right there, Esther 8:17, it says, and in every province and in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a good day, and many people of the land became Jews, for fear of the Jews fell upon them. Now, when you look that word Jews up.
For fear of and what was the decree? Was they just going and saying, hey, leave them alone? Or were they killing people?
Right.
Anybody that was coming up against the Jews in these lands were getting slaughtered.
Right.
Okay.
Why didn't they want to become Jews before that? Why wasn't they following their ways while they were in their captivity? Huh? Where was the interest in being a Jew before then?
Mm-hmm.
Now the elder has the word pulled up. Became Jews. Get the word. You can click it. All right.
Yahad.
Yahad.
But it said,
Like
yeah.
the small has say Yehudi.
Mm-hmm.
Yahad. All right. And it says to become a Jew, in fact or fraud, to become Judaized. Could we look up the word Judaized? All right. Just like at the time of the Greeks, we were Hellenized. We fell heavy under the customs of the Greeks. We were still Jews. We were still Israelites, but we became Hellenized. These heathen became Judaized. Did you look it up?
Mm-hmm. Can you see that right there?
Nah, it's not showing.
It's not showing? Oh, okay. It's showing. Let me pull it up like this then.
Yeah.
I thought I had pulled it up somewhere. Could have sworn I did.
Because then we're going to look up the word Yahwadah, which is where the tribe of Judah come from. And as you're going to see, it's two different words. And Apostle Tahar is making this point, and this guy says that, well, to his, point. That is a point. That's the point.
That's the point.
That's the point.
That's the point. Listen to him. I'm gonna play this a little bit. And we'll get Judaized. Listen to him. That's a point, and you can tell this is just a contrarian type of guy. No. It's not a point. It's the point.
And say, I want to go worship where the Jews are worshiping, and they know righteousness, and I want to go to the mountain of the Jews where the law is being taught.
17. Last verse.
What he's doing here too is that his main point here is to show that within Esther 8:17, there's two words for
you can tell he's full of hot air. Watch.
Jews there. And he said what they became isn't. It says the Jews, the first Jews there, and then it says then they became Jews. What they became is not the same word. And to his credit, that is a point. All right. That is a point.
Full of hot air.
All right, whatever they became, it says Jews. It's a type of Jew, but it's not the exact. The writer put a different word there for a reason. Okay, so that is a point. I will give him credit for that. That is a point.
Nigga, we don't need your credit. Oh my God, bro. That is the point. Like we're saying right now. Now, when you look up this word Judaize, these people crazy. It says Judaize. Make Jewish, convert to Judaism, right? Follow Jewish customs or religious rites.
The elder required Quam, or no, who was that? Tizawam put up a cool little definition.
Boom. He put Judaizers were a faction of the Jewish Christians, both of Jewish and non-Jewish origins, who regarded the Levitical laws of the Old Testament as still binding on all Christians. Now, you read about this.
It's the New Testament, right? That's the New Testament.
And these arguments that was happening amongst the Judaizers, and this is where you have the issue with Acts the 15th chapter come along, which led to a lot of different letters going out, and me and Required Corn, we can tell you we two peas in the pod, because literally he's going exactly where I was going to go, which is all of it is a type of cultural assimilation and forms of it. Okay, this is what you're seeing, and it happened to all different. It happened to us. It happened to all different nations in the Greco-Roman Empire. It happened to the Native Americans when when they were being conquered by the conquistadors. It happened to the people that were over in England when the Danes came and it was killing them. Right. They was, you know, it happened with the Mongols when they was taking over those different hordes over there. What happens? The dominating power makes you come and follow their ways, customs, languages, and ways of being. Now, when you read in Esther, if everybody's getting killed for coming up against the Jews in that region, what the fuck you think they're gonna do if they want to live?
Right. What would you do?
What have you done?
At that time, if you was a heathen, you know?
This is not rocket science.
Again, in that instance did not give those heathen rights of heirs fellowship with the covenants of promise.
Right.
They literally just followed the customs. They followed, which they're going to have to do that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy quoted Micah, where in the kingdom, the heathen are going to want to come and learn from us, which is proof that they're not going to be under the new covenant, because no Israelite is going to have to teach another Israelite. Who are we going to teach? Who are we going to be priests? We're going to administer the law to the heathen because they're going to need to learn.
That's right.
Showing you that they don't get salvation. Salvation is where you don't have to learn anymore. It's in you.
That's right. That's right. Neither shall they be taught anymore. Scriptures say that. We're going to get there too. But I'm going to go back to this definition here of cultural assimilation just to touch on it. Cultural assimilation here in Wikipedia says is the process in which a minority group or culture comes to resemble a society's majority group or assimilates the values, behaviors, and beliefs of another group, whether fully or partially. This is what happened to us when we were brought over here on cargo slave ships. We had one type of culture, language, way into being, and literally was beaten out of us for a whole different system of values, behaviors, beliefs. All right. The different types of cultural assimilation include full assimilation and forced assimilation. Full assimilation is the more prevalent of the two, as it occurs spontaneously when used as a political ideology. Assimilationalism refers to governmental policies of deliberately assimilating ethnic groups into the national culture. That's what was done to the Native Americans.
Right.
Okay.
Boarding schools.
Okay. During cultural assimilation, minority groups are expected to adapt to the everyday practices of the dominant culture through language and appearance, and as well as via more significant socioeconomic factors such as absorption into the local cultural and employment communities. Okay. We don't have to get more on that. Now, this is what this novice was questioning. This is what this novice was questioning here. What does that look like? The Hasmoneans took over these people and they became Jews. What does that look like? Nigga, it happened to you. You should know what it looked like.
You still calling yourself an Israelite.
Anybody home? It literally happened to your people. What do you mean what it looked like? When there's a dominant culture over another one, if you don't do what we say, we kill you. And over time, as the older people die and the next generation and the next generation and the next generation, what happens to that minority group's culture? It fades. Why do you think the scribes and the Pharisees were so adamant in the New Testament about preserving their culture? Because the Greco-Roman culture dominated the world. They were fighting for the existence of Hebrew culture life. It was a big deal. Okay? I'm going to play this real quick, Elder Yashwamba.
Go ahead.
You know, when you bring that stuff up, what he's mentioning there is the Hasmonean dynasty. All right, when you're reading the book of Maccabees, first Maccabees, second Maccabees, third Maccabees, fourth Maccabees, whatever Maccabees you're reading, You're detailing uh, a lineage that we revolted against the Greeks. Had a victory against them, made a treaty with the Romans. We just and they thought they were Jews, but they're not Jews. They just thought they were Jews. Listen, they ain't think nothing. They were forced into doing that.
They were forced into doing it here. It says, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them in Esther 8 and 17. What do you think this is?
Right.
They taken them to death and made them Jews.
Right. And when you go into that Hasmonean dynasty, a lot of those Edomites were forced to be Jews because you could not fight in the when you look up the history, you could not fight in our military unless you were keeping the laws, unless you were a Jew. So what did they do? They converted again, just as we just saw this group of people converted. That was one of the reasons they converted. All right. They circumcised themselves. All right. And they became Judaized to fight in the military. Okay. That did not make them bloodline Jews. They were not of the tribe of Judah after that going forward. They won't be numbered amongst the 12,000, right, of the tribe of Judah and the 144,000. They're not Israelites. They're merely keeping the customs of the Israelites, calling themselves Jews.
Mm-hmm. And that's to the benefit of the nations. The nations are going to do that in the end anyway. They're going to be assimilated to our way of living. They're going to be assimilated to our form of immortal living on earth. They're going to have to. Okay? They're going to have to do this. It's not going to be, we're asking you. You will do it. All right? This is the definition of religious assimilation. Refers to the adoption of a majority or dominant culture's religious practices and beliefs by a minority or subordinate culture. The Hasmoneans made them subordinate to them and forced them into the way of Israelite culture and being. Okay? That's what happened. That's what happened here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that. That's what happened to us too when we were Americanized. We were Americanized. This is a part. This is a form of assimilation, indoctrination. This is, that's what happened, man. You can read about it here. We ain't gonna, I ain't gonna go all deep into it. But essentially, when people came over here, they had to form to the American values. Americanization is the process of an immigrant to the United States becoming a person who shares American culture, values, beliefs, and customs by assimilating into the American nation. This process typically involves learning the American English language and adjusting to American culture, values, and customs. Okay? That's why they make you, when you come over here, you got to take a test. You got to know about the forefathers and all this and that. You got to start your process of assimilation to American culture to get your green, to get your citizenship or residence. Okay? This is not nothing new. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Okay? Now, brothers are making points on the comment board. Is there anything you see?
Matthew Henry did a commentary.
Okay.
Well, be like-minded put a dope one, but this is that's Matthew Henry's commentary. You can put that back up there. We can read it.
Oh, be like-minded or Matthew Henry?
Matthew Henry.
Okay.
This is his commentary on what happened in the book of Esther. It says they thought them formidable and considered those miserable that were against them. They plainly saw in Haman's fate that if they offered any injuries to the Jews, it was at their peril. And then you can go to that next one.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, for their own security, they join themselves to them. It is folly to think of contending with the God of Israel, and therefore it is wisdom to think of submitting to him. Boom.
Boom. It's wisdom. Smart.
They made a smart choice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a great point. Tazwan put that 2 Kings 17 when they had to. That was a form of a simulation right there. You know, there was a simulation right there. Simple, man. But when you're proud, these simple things become too deep or something. You know.
Yeah, now you helping the enemy, like the scriptures say, smiting the fellow laborers on the cheek, eating and drinking with the drunk. That's what you guys are doing, man.
Yeah. Damn crack babies, man. Let's see. I'm gonna read this, okay? Second Kings 17:24 says, and the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and Cutha, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. Okay, king of Assyria, basically dispersed everybody, and they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof. And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there that they feared not the Lord. They didn't follow the ways. Therefore the Lord sent lions among them, which slew some of them. Right? Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, the nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of the God of the land. Therefore he hath sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the God of the land. All right. Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thee the one of the priests whom ye brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let them teach them the manner of the God of the land. All right. And then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel, and taught them how they should fear the Lord. Right? Howbeit every nation made gods of their own, and put them in the houses of the high places which the Sumerians had made, every nation their cities wherein they dwelt. Okay? But the point is, there was a form of religious, cultural simulation that had to go down for them to dwell in this land. And it was by force, because they would get eaten by lions. That's what that looked like, my guy. That doesn't mean that you're the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob just because you circumcise and you follow the law, statutes, commandments that were put upon you. I mean, I mentioned this before we got on, like Malcolm X said, if a cat has kittens in the oven, does it make them biscuits? No, you still are what you are. These people are still Edomites. Those people are still Sumerians. People of other tribes. You don't get the rights to the promise that was given to Israel and his sons.
Yep.
That ain't how that worked.
That don't work like that, man. And you can get that Sirach 33 and 13. Be like-minded. You can just pull it up because it's kind of scattered because of all of the different comments. But
Sirach what?
Sirach chapter 33, and you can start at 13. Well, 12. 11. Sirach 33 and 11.
Sirach chapter 33, verse 11, it says, in much knowledge the Lord have divided them. Well, shoot, verse 10.
You started at 10, yep.
Yeah. And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge the Lord have divided them, and made their ways diverse. Some of them hath he blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them have he cursed and brought low, and turned out of their places. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him, to render to them as liketh him best. He do what the Most High do what he want. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. Okay? So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are 2 and 2, one against another. Okay? You want this?
That's it. Some people have he blessed and made and set apart. Not everybody can be holy, because what will make them whole? If everybody was holy, what will make them holy? Right. Holy means set apart, special, sanctified. Not heathen weren't chosen from the foundation of the earth. When you go to Sirach, the 24th chapter, we don't have to get it. Wisdom dwells in Jacob, man. The 12 tribes of Israel, he set them, and they're going to be ultimately a light to all of the nations, all right, throughout the four corners of the earth, man. When the heathen see Israel pursuing the prophecy, they're going to know something's different about them. It said they're going to acknowledge that this is the seed which the Lord blessed. You got it, brother.
This is Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come. The glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. And then in the title, you see it's glorify Zion. For behold, not glorify whole world. Glorify Zion. For behold, darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people, but the Lord shall rise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and the kings to the brightness of thy rising. Okay? Lift up thine eyes round about and see. All they gather themselves together, they come to thee. Thy sons shall come from afar, thy daughter shall be nursed at thy side. Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. How are we going to get the forces of the Gentiles? We're going to be ruling over them.
Right, because that's what Yahushua is coming to do. First of all, Yahushua pursuing the prophecy and pursuing to what's written in the New Testament. There's prophecies in the New Testament as well. He's coming back to smite the heathen and to rule over them with a rod of iron. That's first and foremost. The heathen are going to be taken down. Okay? Point blank, period. They're going to lose their power. Okay? They're going to be disarmed. And they're going to be put into a position of servitude. That's written in scripture. The scripture cannot be broken. Yahushua didn't come to change any of that. You see, he didn't come to change that. He's coming to fulfill it. But people see words like Gentile, heathen, uncircumcised, and they don't apply prophecy and history to it, and they just start talking. So now the promise made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and all of these various prophecies we're reading no longer matter because of their emotion. That's mean to be like that. The God of this world have blinded their minds, man. And there's so many scriptures we can go to. There's so many points we can make. You know?
Yeah. And you read this, you see the servitude that's basically given up from the Gentiles unto the Israelites. Now, I'm going to skip down, man, to verse 10. It says, the son of strangers shall build up thy walls, and the king shall minister unto thee. That means they're going to serve. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish, die. We're going to be mean to them. If people don't serve us, we're going to be naughty and mean to them.
Right. And even when they do serve us and we be nice to them, that don't mean they included in the blessing.
They're not included in the blessing.
Because there, there may be certain heathen you have favor on amongst all of the rest of the heathen. Certain Hamite families, like what's her name? The harlot Rahab.
Rahab.
You may have favor on her and her family. They still go be taken down, but there may be some heathen you may have set aside.
Yep.
That does not make them physical descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and thus heirs to the promise, man.
Come on now.
Receiving salvation. No, absolutely not.
Yep. Our people have a very deep slave mindset that governs the way they reason. Okay?
Yeah.
It says,
and it's not like the Lord wasn't fair. He allowed these heathen to have their rulerships and kingdom and dominions, man.
They had their turn.
They had their time, bro. The Lord is fair, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We're telling you that the kingdom to come is for the Israelites. That don't mean the heathen ain't gonna be there. That don't mean the heathen won't be happy sometimes. But they will be under us. I guess that's what Jake want to hear. Are they gonna be smiling?
Yeah, they gonna play cards too, dude, together. Dude. Shit.
God damn, you niggas are annoying. Sheesh. This is why y'all ain't gonna be put in that royal leadership position. You're not judges, man.
Gonna be a regular Israelite. Whew.
Leave it up to you niggas. You be looking to the left. You on a chariot and Trump's on the chariot.
Yeah. Yeah. And really, these guys, they come on here and they throw temper tantrums. They really want to just ask and say, hey, I don't understand. Can you please help me out and break this down a little bit more for me? But the pride and spoiled nature of being on YouTube and having all this information given to you online is this puffed up, spoiled, daddy issue brat mentality. You answer my question. I don't understand. And they throw fits. What does that look like? The Hasmonean dynasty, and then they became Jews. What does that look like? Nigga, how'd you become a nigga?
You still call yourself an Israelite.
What did that look like for you to become a Black American? Hello? Use your head for more than the hat rack, man. Okay? This is not that deep. But you guys need milk instead of trying to eat this meat. You want to go listen to Apostle Tahar's videos, and you need to just get the basics things. You don't even know the Hebrew. Go back and you need to go back and go read the Hebrew booklet. You know? If you was in our camp, you wouldn't even be holding signs. You'd be on the other side. You wouldn't be in the camp.
Absolutely. And a lot of guys think that they think that that's somehow sunning them, or how could you? No, you would be on the other side learning until you were saw fit to be able to take the test.
Yep.
And when you took the test, nigga, you would fail.
Yep, miserably. And if you did somehow pass for the first, you wouldn't be allowed to say shit. Because you don't need to say nothing. You need to be quiet and learn. I mean, go get some more bottled waters.
Yep.
Okay? That will be your role in the camp. Until we saw fit for you to open your mouth and try to teach somebody something. Everybody got a podcast now.
Yeah.
You know, watch the Kendrick Lamar versus Drake, and everybody doing reaction videos, and now you want to do it. You need to shut the hell up. All right? So this is going back in Isaiah 60 and 11. Did you have something else you want to say, Elder? I'm just going to finish this point. It says, therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, their booty, their goods, their services, everything.
That's it. And
that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. That means they will get killed. Yes. Yea, that those nations shall be utterly wasted. That means bad things will happen to them. Blood, death.
Vocab said that doesn't mean that. And if we bring this out, he'll say, so you want to kill? He didn't. Meanwhile, Netanyahu and those small heads over there bombing the shit out of people using the Bible. How about that? Anyway, you got it, brother.
This is plain. If you're trying to tap dance around this,
take
that ugly ass hat off. Oh my gosh. Verse 13 says, the glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee. What does that mean? We're going to get all your stuff. The fir tree, the pine tree, the box together to beautify the place of my sanctuary. Give me all them trees, all that good food wood. I want that.
Right, because King Solomon, when he built the temple, he used wood from Lebanon. Lebanon is known for its beautiful trees. And this is basically what this is talking about is us having control of all of the earth resources, which that's what makes you a king. That's what makes you a ruler.
That's a kingdom.
And right now, who's ruling now? Are you joint heirs with them in their rulership? Yeah. You ruling along with the bankers and the people who really have control over the frankincense, the trees, the wood, the spices, the beautiful smells. You're not in league with them. You're subject to them.
Manager at Target, and you think you equal with the so-called white man. Use free. Low-level thinking. You even got these millionaire Jake thinking that people were making millions of dollars in Egypt, and in Persia, and in Greece and Rome. Jake been getting up in there making money. That don't mean you a part of that upper echelon society as far as the legacy of that nation and empire, man.
Right.
You got a few shekels. That's it.
Right. When you have a son, it's gonna be an Israelite. When they have a son, it's gonna be their nation.
Yeah. The Rothschilds ain't finna have a random nigga on their wall. He was a great nigga slave we had. Otis Ben Niger. We love him. No, he's not getting mentioned. Okay? Verse 14 says, the sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of the Lord, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Okay? That's power, rulership, dominion that's given to a particular people, the nation of Israel, over the nations of the earth. Okay?
Right.
Yep. Can't get around that.
Could we get Isaiah 61 and
sure.
I guess you can read from 5 and then jump to 9.
Cool, sounds good. Isaiah chapter 61 verse 5, it says, and strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers.
Now that word plowman in the Hebrew is ikar. It means working the land but not owning any of it. Just wanted to throw that out there. You can jump to verse 9.
Isaiah 61 and 9, and their seed shall be among the Gentiles, and their offspring among the people, and all that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which the Lord hath blessed.
This is written. They're going to acknowledge there's something different about those people. Those are the Lord's people. They're not going to be joined with us.
Yep. And Esau had that for a little bit. Esau could travel to another country. He can go to Thailand. He can go to Botswana. He can go wherever. And people would basically bow down to him. Edomite can walk around in some random ass nation and nobody would touch him for fear of retribution. That glory is gone now. But how much more so is it going to be when we get up in there and we got the glory of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua on us? People are going to know those are the people of God. It's not going to be any question, and it's not going to be any type of comparative levels. No, absolutely not. It's going to be definitive. Okay. You have any other scripture?
I mean, we maybe later. You can any other points you wanted to make.
I just had this one last point I want to read out of Isaiah, and we can go with it. Isaiah 2:2 says, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow into it. All right, so this is kind of locking in with Isaiah the 60th chapter, this end time prophecy of the nation of Israel being on top of everybody. Okay, being on top. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways. This is a simulation. There will be a theocratic assimilation of the nations. We're going to make that a term. A theocratic assimilation of the nations. Theocratic means what? Ruled by God. And all the nations are going to have to be assimilated to that rule. And we're going to be the government that establishes rule. That's why when you look up the word government, what does it mean? Mind control, to control the minds of the people. Okay? We're going to teach our ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to the nations. They're going to handle the water like this, handle the land like this, handle the animals like this, handle each other like this. They're going to deal with commerce this way. Okay?
Don't eat this.
They don't eat this. This is how you deal with marriage. This is how you deal with your children. This is, you know what I'm saying? This is how we're gonna deal with banking. This is how we're gonna deal with the educational system.
These are the
Every
clothes you wear.
facet, all the major areas of activity, like Neely Fuller likes to talk about, we are going to take over that and teach the nations. They're going to be assimilated to us. This right here, like Elder Yashawamba was saying in Esther, was a foreshadowing of a greater thing to come.
That's it.
Okay? It was a foreshadowing of a greater thing to come, right? So we're reading about that here in Isaiah 2 and 3. It says, to the house of the God of Jacob, he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people. Right? Yep. Telling them what to do, setting everything in order. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares. Okay. I wonder if that word is similar to the word that we read in Isaiah 61. And their spears into pruning hooks.
No, it's different. It's just different. That one just basically talks about the tool.
Just a tool. Okay.
Just a tool. But in the book of Isaiah, it talk the word Ikar Hebrew means ultimately you work the land, but you don't own none of it.
Beautiful. And their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Why? Everybody's going to be put in order. We're going to have the dominion, and everybody's going to be set to work. This is why our gates are going to be open continually, because everybody's going to be producing for a perpetual kingdom that's going to be established on earth from heaven. Okay? But what you got, Elder Yashawamba?
Right. Zechariah, the 14th chapter, gives a foreshadowing as well.
Okay, Zechariah 14. I'm going to go to the restroom real quick.
Okay, just pull it up. Like, start at around, like, 16. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, right there.
Yep.
Further up? Okay.
Yep, 16 is cool.
All right. I'll be right there.
But we're going to have to go down. But, as you can read here, this is in the book of Zechariah, the 14th chapter. This is a foreshadowing of what it's going to be like in the kingdom. Again, through prophecy, we the scriptures say we know in part and prophesy in part. We know, and we can go into these scriptures and show you. Ultimately, it gives you a small inkling of what's going to be happening, and sometimes you have to apply the spirit. Now it says here, Zechariah 14 and 16, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all of the nations. All right, to stop right there, it says left of all of the nations. There's going to be a remnant of heathen left. Not all of the heathen are going to just be destroyed and burned. No, there are going to be a lot of heathen that are destroyed, right? But there's going to be a remnant of heathen that is left. Okay, just like when David beat down the heathen, there were heathen left. And Solomon, what did he do with them? He put them in servitude. Okay, so they're going to be heathen in our kingdom. Okay, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem, all right, shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, and keep the Feast of Tabernacles. So they're going to have to be Israelites. They're going to have to be like us. See, but there's still going to be a clear separation, man. You're going to have to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Just like here, what do you see, all right, in October 31st, Halloween? You go into a store, you see the Halloween decoration. You go to a restaurant, they may have something Halloween. Easter, Easter is forced down your throat. Christmas, everywhere you look, Christmas commercials, Christmas this, Christmas that. Well, in the kingdom, it's going to be the Feast of Tabernacles, the new Passover. Go ahead.
We're going to be chilling. What do you think the other nations are going to be coming and doing? They're going to be helping us chill.
Mm-hmm.
The whole nation of Israel going to be chilling. So you can imagine that, it's going to be a big festival party. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
Hey, Elon, give me some more of that.
Yep. More wine.
Yep.
Right. It says, and it shall come to pass, and it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. So if they don't send any representatives to come to the high holy days when it's time to come, we're going to have a spiritual heart program. Just like Esau Edom has weather modification trying to play the most high on the left-hand side, we're going to have that on an even greater fashion. Oh, they don't want to come up. We can send a plague over in your land.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they not coming up points to something that's very important. They're not under the second covenant.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they were under the second covenant, wouldn't they do it automatically?
Yep. It's not in them.
It's not going to be in them as it's in the Israelites, because we can also get Hebrews 8 and then, you know, some comments. But if you look here, and it shall come that whoso, and it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And if the family of Egypt go not up, even after they keep the laws and do, they still gonna be the family of Egypt, man. All right. Matazarium. Okay. It says, and if the family of Egypt go not up and come not that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. This is a prophecy of the kingdom giving you insight. You know, if you apply that in the spirit, now you're like, okay, so on the high holy days, the heathen gonna have to do this, the heathen gonna have to do that. And if they don't, that goes into the scriptures. Blessed are those that bless thee, cursed are they that curse thee. So just because the heathen, if they do right, they receive some form of blessing, that still does not put them on a level of an Israelite, and that damn sure does not give them access to the priesthood of Melchizedek, man. Any of you guys out there teaching that heathen are going to be a part of the priesthood of Melchizedek, man, may Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua put you to death, man. That's wicked.
Mm-hmm.
That's going off, man, because when you're saying they're going to receive salvation, that's what you're saying.
You calling the Most High a liar?
You call, yeah. Let's get Hebrews 8.
Okay.
And see, this is what the bottom line is. People really don't understand what salvation is. When we say Israel is going to be saved, the salvation only for Israel. Basically, this guy here, what's his name? Prince of the Power, whatever his name. Mm-hmm. He said, y'all no different than John Calvin, who's talking about it's all about the elect. It is about the elect. And John Calvin is ultimately, that's vocab's elder. We don't follow that guy. But the scriptures clearly speak to the elect of the nation of Israel being those who are ultimately allotted for salvation, man. And it's going to be a point where all Israel is going to be saved. But it starts with the elect. Now, I guess we'll point you on this.
I was going to start at 8.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Hebrews 8:8. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
Boom. Point blank, period. Yep. No heathen go come up under that covenant. No heathen was under the first one, man. Go ahead.
And he's quoting this from the Old Testament.
Yep.
Jeremiah. Not according to the commandment that I made with their fathers in the
covenant
day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws in their mind and write them in their hearts. And I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me from the least to the greatest.
Do you hear that? No Israelite is going to have to be taught in the kingdom of heaven. Like Umar, do you hear me?
Yeah.
You keep repeating it. No Israelite will have to be taught in the kingdom of heaven according to what the new covenant is. Not one, from least to greatest, because there will be rank and order in our kingdom. So from least to greatest, you're not going to have to walk up to Jake and say, you know, you shouldn't be smoking cigarettes, dog. You know, swine is unlawful.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to do that because they're going to be programmed as a gift that is associated with salvation to keep the laws perfectly. Man, woman, and child of the nation of Israel. Why do you want to give that to somebody else? I don't understand the need to fight for heathen who don't give two shits about you, who need to be taught what's right and wrong, right? To add them to the covenant. Why can't you just say we gonna teach y'all? That's not enough for Jake.
It's crazy. But that's that low-level apartment mentality. All right. Jim is down under Australia, Shalom Mark. He put Psalms 147-19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgment unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. Mm-hmm. And as for his judgments, they have not known them.
Right. When we came out of Egypt, there was a large multitude. Did they enter into a covenant with the Heavenly Father? Were they a part of that first covenant? Did Moses sprinkle the blood over them? No, man. The heathen are always going to be there. As a matter of fact, when you could you get Psalms, the 2nd chapter?
Oh yeah. Brother had pulled that up. I was gonna get that early. Yeah. So
the heathen belong to Yahweh, and he's gave it to Yahweh Shai as a part of his inheritance, what belongs to him, including the planet Earth. The elect are joint heirs. He's going to share that with his people. Starting with his best friends, the 144,000 with the 12 at the head of it, man. He go share it with them. But instead of talking about that kingdom being established in the earth, the throne of David was coming to us, all we can hear from you guys is this push for heathen to be saved. And I cannot wait. You niggas need to go to Chinatown and preach to the heathen. Go to the African store and preach to the heathen, with some of them are Jakes. Leave us alone. Let's see if you really about that heathen life. Go teach them.
Yeah, go teach them. Go learn some Cantonese, some Mandarin. Go learn some, Gujarati, East Indian Gujarati, Southern, and see if they accept you. They'll throw a sandal at your ass.
Right. Which means Yahweh Shai is going to have to come back, and then we can worry about the teaching the heathen. Once we're established in our order, then we'll worry about teaching the heathen.
Right? So this is back in Psalms chapter 2. We'll start at 1. I'm going to read quickly. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed.
That's another thing, brother. These heathen are fighting hard to establish the most wicked anti-Messiah system on the planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
The heathen are going hard against the Lord and against us, putting stuff in our food, the air, the water.
Hard body. Crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, that angel popped up.
Yeah.
Thathia.
My man.
Yep.
It says, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. It says, then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore pleasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion.
Because basically the heathen are fighting that Yahweh Shai does not reign. That's what the Lord is basically explaining here. They're trying to free themselves from slavery to the Most High. They're trying to cut the connection between him and his people. They're trying to set up a system where they X out the Son of the Most High and set themselves up as saviors through their technology and everything else. But the Lord is laughing at them. And he's like, nigga, I'm going to set my son, my holy king, up on the hill of Zion in Jerusalem, and he's going to rule with his people. You got it, brother.
Boom. It says, ask of me, Salakia, verse 7. I will declare the decree. The Lord hath said unto me, thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. We read that in the book of Revelation. This is the intention and the purpose of the Lord coming back. This is what he's going to do. He's going to set things to where we have the heathen for our inheritance and the uttermost parts of the earth as a possession. The nation of Israel is going to be joint heirs with the Lord.
Yep.
And receive that promise that the Most High had gave to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Not
Revelation
to everyone.
2. Revelation 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because everything, this earth belongs to Yahweh Shai and the sons of God, man.
That's it.
As a part, what's that scripture in Proverbs? We found it. It says a man without subjects is nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I believe it's Proverbs 14 and 28 in the NLT, but a man who has no subjects, you're not ruling. Human resources is the number one determining factor of a flourishing kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of talking about how we're going to rule over them and they're going to be subject to us, all right, under Yahweh Shai, you want to talk about saving them all goddamn day. This is just what they're going to be. They're going to be left for the purpose of this. Go, you got it, brother.
Who gonna work? I ain't working. What you doing up, man? Low level mentality. Proverbs 14 and 28. A growing population is a king's glory. A prince without subject has nothing. You need people to go do stuff. You need people to work. Okay? That's the whole purpose of this thing. So this mindset from this novice ain't it. We've been assimilated into American culture through captivity. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, that's what that looks like. Forced assimilation and then gradual assimilation over time. That same assimilation is going to happen to these other nations, as we just read throughout all of these different scriptures. The Bible is not some kumbaya book. The Bible is a book really to the nobles and the kings of the nation of Israel to read and remember themselves by. The Bible is not for all of Israel. It's really for the higher ups.
Right.
Okay. This book is for the higher ups, the nobles, the priests, not low-level apartment-minded men like this. Okay. It's about rulership and how to govern the earth. That's what the Bible is about. Okay. Did you have any other points that you want to make out of Yashwamba?
That's pretty much. I mean, you know, Revelation 2, where he promised he's going to share it with us.
Okay, kind. We can get that. And I guess we can close out with that.
Yeah. As you had up, you know, when the time comes for you to be teachers, man, you got to know the sincere milk. We live in a culture where a lot of people just hop on the internet spewing things. You're just talking, you know, and that's become a trend. But y'all are playing with the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Y'all taking these words, you're sitting up here. Here it is, you're supposed to be Israelites, but here it is, we got to defend salvation against Israelites. The Lord is going to shut you niggas' mouths, man, very, very soon. 2 and 26. You can make it red too. I guess start at 20. That's good. That's good. What'd you say?
How you make it red?
When you go up to the top of the page, go to the top, and you see where it says paragraph, Strong's, red letter.
Oh, okay.
You go to the right, red letter. Boom, right there.
Dope. Fire. All right, I didn't even know that. I learned something today. Look at that. Revelation chapter 2, verse 26. It says, and he that overcometh, and another good point is when you read up, it talks about the hidden manna too. But we will stick to this. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works until the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father.
So what his father gave him, all right, the earth, including the heathen. Did we read that in Proverbs?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're talking about 14 and 28?
Yeah, did we read that?
Yeah, we read that.
Okay. Yeah, read it again. Read it again.
Proverbs 14 and 28, a growing population in the NLT. A growing population is a king's glory. A prince without subjects has nothing.
Boom. So the Lord has given us a whole batch of heathen. He gave it to his son, Yahweh Shai, and then his Yahweh Shai just said, look, I'm going to give you that same authority. You're going to be joint heirs with me. Then when he told Peter, I give you the keys, that when you look up that word Kleis, it goes into authority. The authority we have now is just to preach the word, but that we're going to go from glory to glory in the kingdom. The 12 disciples and the rest of the 144,000 are going to literally have dominion to rule, judge, and have dominion on the earth, man, with heavenly bodies. Why do you want to give that to somebody else? That's all I want to say, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's the point, man. That's the point. You know, we want to just kind of go over it and give land back on what all the apostles and bishops and the elder brothers have been going into. And, you know, you got to understand the nature of this thing. Like I said, the Bible is not for low-level men. It's for nobles and kings and future kings. So guys got to step the game up, man. So any closing words?
Yeah, to the brother Mathathi, I'm definitely taking those points. I'm gonna do a lesson on that. The 3 major points of salvation. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna take that. The water.
I need all that.
Yep.
Okay,
the
man.
water
So
to all you brothers, man, that left
yeah,
comments, and you sisters as well. Shalom, you know.
Brothers was cooking, man. So with that being said, man, say call hello, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Bashim Kakadash Barakadam. Tell you all you guys, man. I want to say double honors to the apostles and to the elders. And much peace, love, and salutation to all you out there pushing the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua in sincerity and truth, man. Shalom.
Shalom.